Hello and welcome to the Mayor Manager Show. I'm Mayor Wes Bringer for the town of Sparta, and alongside me is our Sparta Town Manager, Brian Edwards. And Brian, good to have you back here on the show with us, and big weekend this weekend across the board for us.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Mayor, and glad to be here. And it turned fall of the year on us over the weekend, so brought the holiday season in, I think.
So we got a little moisture in there, and that's going to help turn them leaves a little bit there, and we're going to have us a good fall, I'm sure. Just to recap our Sparta Town Council meeting of this month, we started off and Lou Morrison come by with the Allegheny Trails Association come by and updated us on that, and them folks are doing a great job.
Yeah, they are. It's an active group working hard to develop trails not only within the town of Sparta, but also within Allegheny County, and to connect to the Mountain to the Sea Trail and eventually on to other places. So good hard-working group, and we appreciate what they're doing. And currently, Lou mentioned to us that they are working with the Department of Transportation. We're trying to develop a trailhead at Veterans Park and then along Bledsoe Creek through the DOT property. We wish them success in getting that easement that they need with DOT.
I do like what Lou said. He was glad it was fall and
Yes.
it was turning cold weather so he could avoid the snakes.
Right.
And that's a good thing right there. So we're all behind Lou on that part.
Yes, we are.
We had a couple special visitors from the High Country Council of Governments, Miss Julia Wiggins and
Phil True.
Phil True come by and spent some time with us.
Julie is the executive director. She's been there now just over a year, doing a really good job of leading that organization that represents 7 counties and 19 municipalities in the High Country Council of Governments. And Phil True is the director of planning for the High Country, and we work closely with Phil. In fact, Mayor mentioned while Phil was there were three items on our agenda for that evening that the High Country Council of Governments had a hand in. So they have been great supporters to us, and they provide really invaluable services to the town and to the county.
And we appreciate all that they do, and I know you stay in close contact with them on just about everything that we've got going on. And this is one of them right here, and we got some great news about our Parks and Recreation Department. You know, it was just a great thing that happened there the other night.
Well, North Carolina Parks and Recreation Trust Fund, we had made application last year and were not successful. It's a very competitive application process all across the state. Counties and towns submit applications and compete for about $500,000 that they typically have statewide to appropriate to projects. This year we were extremely proud to say Krause Park was a recipient of a $194,000 Parks and Recreation grant, and we intend to use those funds for restroom facilities. Number one, handicap accessible men's and women's restrooms in the old Sturvant House. Secondly, we will be significantly upgrading the playground equipment. A unisex handicap accessible restroom is planned for the interior of the Krause House, and we'll be doing some sidewalks and landscaping and other work around there. But really proud to announce to our citizens that Krause Park will be seeing some significant upgrades and improvements.
You know, and that's right there in the center of our town. So a lot of folks use our park. They go over there during lunch to walk and do some things, and we have all kinds of events that go on there. And we'll talk about a little bit about some events coming up in the park here later on in our show. We went right into a zoning ordinance where we've been talking about for a couple of meetings now of a proposed amendment, and I think everything's on track for that amendment to go through, and it has, and for these tiny houses, and we'll be seeing some more of that.
That would be one
instance.
One particular use could be, but the zoning ordinance gave our Board of Adjustment some flexibility in altering the minimum lot size that would typically be required in the residential district. So it is still a process that goes in front of our Planning Board and then in front of the Board of Adjustment, and they can put conditions on the applicant in terms of what we feel is most appropriate and to maintain the compatibility with the adjoining neighborhood. So, but I think it does add some flexibility to our zoning ordinance, and we're glad to be able to do that.
So we'll have more of that information coming out throughout the rest of our meetings here this year, and so on and forward. Streetscape underway, and those guys are doing a fabulous job with the water line replacement. couldn't be happier with the work that they're doing out there.
Well, I agree. They've laid almost 800 linear feet now of water line. They are down to the intersection at 18 and 21 and have begun making the taps to for the new service connection. So the road is certainly, we encourage folks to drive slow and be safe. We have had a couple of instances where the vehicles hit potholes, and we've had some folks that we've had to deal with on that matter. But I think the word that we would offer, Mayor, is that you're traveling through a work zone, and those workers need to be respected, and we need to think, number one, about the safety of those people who are out there doing this work. So we just encourage folks, use some common sense, drive slow. But we also want to say that downtown Sparta is open for business. All of our businesses are currently operating under their normal business schedule. So please support our local merchants, particularly during this time while this disruption is going on. They need your support, and we, as the town of Sparta, encourage everybody to support our local merchants.
You know, I couldn't agree more. Come by and support our merchants that are in town. And the one thing I like about the construction is, Brian, that we're trying to keep both lanes open of traffic going. So it's not a one-way street. It's not impossible to find parking on Main Street. You may have to park across the road at a time or two, but the merchants are there and still operating on a regular schedule, and we want to support them in every way that we can. You know, we got that amended letter of conditions from the USDA too, so we got something extra good.
We were successful through Appalachian Regional Commission of securing an additional $200,000 in grant funds, and that's going to enable us to make a significant upgrade on the stormwater drainage system on the north side of town. We had to pull that part of the project out because of the funding constraints, but with the additional ARC funding, and as Mayor Bringer said, he signed an amended letter of conditions. The council also approved the capital project budget. So we are now officially everything in place to do this streetscape project, I think, in very good fashion.
And couldn't ask for anything better than all funds are here, and we're almost, well, we're getting that first part of the town done right there. We'll start moving down past the red light there at the courthouse here in the next month or so. So these guys are really doing a great job. And you mentioned the budget report, and I want to give a shout out to our finance officer, Peggy Schote, who does a great job of keeping those numbers straight. How she does it, I don't know, Brian.
Peggy, she's a right arm for us in terms of the finance office, and have a great deal of confidence that everything is very well in order, and we do appreciate her. And
she brought us even good news that we were on the positive side of revenues, and our water line, our water and sewer, all is going good. So just nothing but good news right there across the board. And which leads us into your manager's report that you give us, and give us an update on Crestview, and it's coming along very good. I couldn't be pleased more with another work crew that's over there doing the job over there.
That construction crew has worked very well. And I'm going to say, Mayor, by the end of the month of October, I would expect we're going to be in substantial completion on that Crestview project. And that's going to be a really great addition to that side of town in terms of reliability, fire protection, and just generally an improved water delivery service system. So we are very pleased to see that project drawing to conclusion.
And the whole town is fully connected now with a water system, and we can get water to a place very, very quickly. And if we need to shut it off, we can shut it off very, very quickly in a certain area, and not everybody be affected too bad.
That's right.
Halsey Street was another subject that we brought up, and we're still continuing on that.
We're in the process of developing the ordinance. The council approved to limit the heavy truck traffic on Halsey Street at the, I guess that was our September meeting. And we continued that discussion, and we are getting assistance from High Country Council of Governments in developing the appropriate ordinance. The ordinance, in effect, creates the legal parameters that our police officers would use and others would use to establish what limitations we would place on the use of that street. But right now, it's proposed that heavy commercial truck traffic would be limited there. It would still be open to for agricultural use, so tractors and farm trucks that are involved in agricultural delivery of products would not be impacted by this, but it would limit the large tractor trailer trucks that are commercial, and really the road is not built to accommodate that kind of traffic. So I believe it's very appropriate for the council to take that action, and we will be having more information as that ordinance becomes developed.
Got a busy rest of the month coming up here. Of course, this past weekend we had our homecoming parade. All the high school guys come out and done a great job there with the parade, and capped it off with a great big win against Starmount Friday night, 14-7, homecoming victory. And there's nothing sweeter in Allegheny than getting a homecoming victory.
That's right. We're proud of those guys, and a great job, a great homecoming victory for our football team, and we're very proud of them.
They continue to make great strides, as does our youth football program. We just finished up our regular season this weekend up in Ashe County, and for only the third time, I believe, in the history, all 4 youth football teams make the playoffs and be participating in the playoffs this year. So that's way to go for our youth.
Yes, it is. Congratulations to those young guys.
We also have the Christmas tree lighting courses coming up here, and who would have thought that Christmas is this close already? Here we are, and in November 16th, we're going to have that Christmas tree lighting on the courthouse lawn by the Sparta Lights and Entertainment Group. That does a fabulous job, and I know our producer here, Charlie Scott and Jeff, been out putting up lights again and working hard and trying to make Sparta look bright, and it looked beautiful there for homecoming night with those green
sure
lights.
did, yeah. Congratulations. We do appreciate what Sparta Lights and Entertainment has done to provide that very festive lighting all around the downtown. And they've done some additional work over at Krause Park, which again, we're very proud of that and appreciative of what those guys are doing to make our town look very inviting and very festive for the holiday season.
So we got something to look forward to there when we have our tree lighting and lighting up Sparta once again. But this coming weekend we have a pumpkin festival in Krause Park.
Yeah, Krause Park, yep. It's going to be designed especially for children, is what we're being told.
I think the children eat free, and they're going to have all kinds of events and games over there for them to do. Some pumpkin chunking, I think, is going on, and I'm sure there'll be some good eating going on too.
That's what we're looking forward to, and hope that a good crowd of folks will turn out and show their appreciation of what Sparta Lights and Entertainment is doing, and have some good fun at Krause Park.
Come on over and enjoy the whole day over in the Krause Park, and then the next weekend, October 19th, of course, we have the annual Hillbilly Comedy Variety Show, which I always enjoy doing that. And so we encourage people to come out to the community auditorium there in that Sparta School. Come on out and enjoy that and get you a good laugh. We also want to remind folks that next month is the election month, and in our municipality election, we do have 3 seats available on our council. We want to encourage people to go to the county building right there where the county election office is, and you'll vote right there in the commissioner's room.
That's right, and that's on November the 5th.
November the 5th,
Yep.
and we want everybody to come out and vote and put your candidate in there if you can. And but just a good thing right there. It's your right and your freedom, and we want you to take full advantage of that. Brian, you got anything else you want to throw out there at the people?
No, Mr. Mayor, I think that pretty well covered it, but it was a very encouraging meeting, a lot of good positive information shared, and had a good crowd, good turnout of folks there, so we appreciate that, and we look forward to our November meeting.
We encourage everybody to come out. Now, our meeting, of course, will be on November 5th, so our meeting will be that evening at 7 o'clock.
Right.
So go vote. Feel free to come to our town meeting on November the 5th. For Brian Edwards, I'm Mayor Wes Brenniger. We thank you for watching our Mayor Manager Show, and we hope to see you here next month here on the Sparta Town Mayor Manager Show.